Picture this: a ship adrift in the vast, endless blue of the Pacific Ocean. Its hull creaks as it rocks gently on the waves, the radio crackling with a constant distress signal. But when rescuers finally board, they find not a single person left on board. Just an eerie silence and a sense of something gone terribly wrong. This isn't the plot of a thriller novel. It's the true story of the MV Joyita, a vessel whose disappearance in 1955 has haunted maritime investigators and mystery lovers for nearly 70 years. The Joyita's fate remains one of the most perplexing unsolved cases in nautical history. The Joyita was a sturdy little passenger ship setting out from Samoa with 25 people on board, crew, passengers, and a cargo hold full of medical supplies, food, and trade goods. Spirits were high as the ship prepared for what should have been a routine journey. The plan was simple: a short hop between the islands, a trip that should have taken just a couple of days. The weather was calm, the sea inviting, and there was no sign of trouble as the Joyita slipped away from the harbor. But then, without warning, the Joyita vanished. No distress call was received and no one saw her go. She simply disappeared into the endless expanse of the Pacific, leaving families and authorities baffled. For 5 long weeks, search parties scoured the ocean, hoping for a miracle. Then, a search plane finally spotted the Joyita, far off course and partially submerged, drifting aimlessly hundreds of miles from where she should have been. What rescuers found was chilling. Every lifeboat was missing, as if the crew and passengers had tried to escape in a hurry. Cargo was scattered across the deck, and the ship's clocks had all stopped at exactly 10:25, freezing a moment in time that no one could explain. The ship's interior was deserted, with personal belongings left behind as if everyone had simply vanished mid-task. It was as if the people on board had been plucked from the ship in an instant, leaving behind only their possessions and a haunting mystery. Even stranger, the Joyita still had plenty of fuel in her tanks, and the pantry was stocked with enough food and water to last for months. There was no sign of a struggle for survival, no evidence that the crew had run out of resources. The radio was found in working order, but it was stuck, transmitting a distress signal. Investigators later discovered that the radio's range was limited due to faulty wiring, meaning any calls for help might never have reached land. Scattered across the deck were crew bags, luggage, and medical equipment, as if people had left in a hurry. Some items suggested that someone had been injured, and the scene hinted at panic and confusion. Most disturbing of all were the bloody bandages and medical supplies left behind. Yet, there was no trace of any bodies, no sign of life, and no sign of death. It was as if the ocean had simply erased everyone who had been aboard. Theories about what happened to the Joyita have swirled ever since. Some believe pirates attacked, but investigators found no real evidence of violence or theft. The cargo was mostly intact, and there were no bullet holes or signs of a struggle. Others have speculated that the ship began to sink, prompting a desperate evacuation. But the Joyita was famously unsinkable, with a reinforced hull that should have kept her afloat even if she took on water. Why abandon a ship that was safer than any lifeboat? Some suggest a more elaborate plot, that the passengers and crew staged their own disappearance, perhaps to escape debts or start new lives. But if that's true, why has not a single person ever resurfaced, and why leave behind so many personal belongings? Decades later, the fate of the Joyita's crew and passengers remains one of the ocean's greatest unsolved mysteries. No evidence, no witnesses, and no answers. Just a ghost ship and endless speculation. It's as if the Pacific itself decided to keep the secret, swallowing the truth along with the people who vanished that day. The story of the Joyita is a chilling reminder of how little we truly know about the sea and its power to erase all traces of those who cross it. If you're fascinated by stories that defy explanation and keep you up at night, make sure to hit subscribe and join me next time as we dive even deeper into the world's most baffling mysteries. Who knows what secrets the ocean will reveal next?